Good morning, everyone. My name is Amanda Lopez, and I'm the Program Assistant and Licensing Specialist with the HOA and Information and Resource Center within the Division of Real Estate, which is a division of the Colorado Department of Regulatory Agencies, also known as DORA. This morning, we will talk about our office, the HOA Information and Resource Center, how our office was established, what we do and what we can't do, and most importantly, we will also discuss the HOA complaint system that we administer within the HOA Information and Resource Center. We'll talk about the process for filing a complaint, what we do with your complaint when we receive it, and why submitting a complaint is important when you're having issues with your HOA. There are 3 handouts that are attached to this webinar: a PDF copy of this presentation, a copy of the Colorado Common Interest Ownership Act, and a copy of the HOA complaint form. You may download these handouts at any time by clicking on the blue links located under the Handouts tab on the GoToWebinar control panel. In case you're unfamiliar, this is what the GoToWebinar control panel looks like. The highlighted section will show you where you may access the links to today's handouts. If you're having any trouble accessing these handouts, please contact me after the webinar and I will send you some copies of these. Please note that the information provided during this presentation is for educational purposes only and is not meant to provide or to be construed as legal advice. Any legal questions should be directed to your attorney. In Colorado, HOAs, or common interest communities, are governed by the Colorado Common Interest Ownership Act, referred to by its initials CCIOA or Kiowa. This statute defines the rights of unit owners as well as those bestowed upon the association. It also defines the responsibility of an association as directed by its executive board. Kiowa provides for the enforcement of those rights and responsibilities through civil litigation. Unfortunately, the state has no authority to intervene in any association's members' conflict with their association, nor does it have any jurisdiction to enforce the rights and responsibilities defined in Kiowa. Succinctly speaking, there is no regulatory oversight of the HOAs in the state of Colorado. Any dispute between homeowners or homeowners and HOA is considered a civil matter. Community Association Manager, or CAM, licensing and regulation existed in the form of the CAM program housed in the Division of Real Estate from January 1st, 2015 to January 1st, 2019. In May of 2019, the General Assembly passed House Bill 19-1212, which concerned the recreation of the CAM licensing program. The bill would have continued the CAM licensing program administered by the division for 1 year. However, on May 31st, 2019, Governor Polis vetoed House Bill 19-1212, and the CAM program expired on June 30th, 2019. In addition to his veto, the governor also issued Executive Order D-2019-006, directing a stakeholder process to examine community and homeowner associations. Currently, there is no regulatory oversight of the HOAs or community association managers. The HOA Center was created by House Bill 10-1278 and became effective on January 1st, 2011. It has been codified in the Colorado Revised Statute 12-10-801. It is therefore a statutorily created office. The office specifically is intended to act as a clearinghouse for information concerning the basic rights and duties of unit owners, declarants, and unit owners associations under Kiowa. Although the HOA office is not a regulatory program, its authorizing statute contains a sunset clause, which requires that the legislator review the relevant statute and determine whether or not to continue to authorize the HOA office once every 5 years. Most recently, the HOA Center received reauthorization in 2020 and is not set to undergo sunset review again until 2025. Per statute, the HOA Center provides information to homeowners regarding their basic rights and responsibilities under Kiowa. We gather, analyze, and report information gathered through complaints and HOA registrations, and we use that information to write an annual report to the legislator. We create resource materials, we provide education, and we present HOA forums such as this one, and we also maintain a website with information for the public in addition to administering the HOA registration program. Oops, sorry about that. As for what our office does not do, the HOA office is not a regulatory program. The Colorado legislature has not provided the HOA Center, nor the Division of Real Estate, nor the Department of Regulatory Agencies any jurisdiction to enforce association governing documents or the Colorado Common Interest Ownership Act. We are unable to facilitate or assist in the scheduling of any mediation or conduct any arbitration. We can't provide any legal advice, and this includes our inability to apply facts and circumstances to the law and make a determination. Our role in explaining the law is very limited. We are unable to act as an advocate, so we may not assess fines or penalties, and we are unable to enforce an HOA's failure to register. Pursuant to the Colorado Revised Statute 10-12-801, the HOA Information Officer is required to track all inquiries received by the HOA Center and write a report each year regarding the number and the types of complaints received. This annual report is typically published early in the year, following the year in which the data is pertinent. So the 2021 report will be released early in 2022. Despite the requirement that the HOA Center administer a complaint program, all complaints remain informational only, as the HOA Center lacks any jurisdiction to investigate any complaint submitted to it. So, with all this talk about no regulatory oversight, what's the purpose of filing a complaint? Well, there's a couple of reasons. First, it allows you to get the issues and concerns that you're experiencing on the record. The record in this case is the annual report we just talked about. That report is important because it's made available to the public, including the state legislator. State lawmakers may rely on this information when they consider amending any laws regarding HOAs. When your complaint is received, we review it for the issue and concerns mentioned, and then we itemize them into one of 22 statistical categories. To be clear, if a complaint contains multiple issues or concerns, which can be categorized into any of these 22 categories, that is noted in our database. Therefore, in any given month, we may only have 25 complainants, but those 25 submissions may contain 72 different complaints. There are very few requirements for filing a complaint. Anybody can submit a complaint. You don't need to be a member of an association to file a complaint against association. So the preferred method of submitting a complaint is via our online system. And that can be found by going to the website dre.colorado.gov/filing-HOA-complaint. While we ask that you use our online system if you can, we will accept complaints submitted through United States mail, and we are also able to accept a complaint via email. HOAs are governed by their elected executive board. This board is responsible for making almost all decisions for the community. For some associations, the hiring of a community association manager may assist the board in executing the daily operational needs of the community. While you may file a complaint against your community association manager, we ask that you identify your association as the respondent and then mention the CAM in the body of your complaint. When you submit a complaint online, you will need to identify the association. This image here will show you the tool that the division uses to allow complainants to identify their association. So since HOAs must register with the Division of Real Estate, this tool will allow you to search our registration database to identify your association. Occasionally, a complainant's HOA has failed to register, or a slight spelling or wording error will prevent a complainant from identifying their association in our database. So if you experience such an issue, you may click on the button just below the tool which says switch to manual entry, and you can use this option as a last resort. So it may extend the time, but keep in mind that it may extend the time in which we are able to respond to your complaint. When filing an online complaint is the preferred method for submitting an HOA complaint. If you are unable to do so, you may submit a paper complaint form. So this is what the paper complaint form will look like. It is attached to this presentation under the Handouts tab on your GoToWebinar control panel. And you may also find a copy on our website by clicking on the File a Complaint icon on our main landing page. And that website is dre.colorado.gov/division/program/HOA-center. So as mentioned, when an HOA complaint is received, it is itemized for the issues and concerns contained. And then that information is inputted into a statistical database that the HOA Center uses on an annual basis to write a report. Next, an acknowledgement letter is drafted for delivery to the complainant. This letter will usually contain basic information and resources regarding the living in an HOA and dealing with disputes. And if the HOA complaint contains issues or concerns for which the HOA Center has specific information or resources, those are included as well. For many complainants, putting the association or CAM on notice that a complaint has been filed is the main reason for their filing a complaint. So it's important to understand that due to our lack of jurisdiction, we are unable to contact an association or a CAM to notify them that a complaint has been filed against them. However, the complainant is welcome to share the acknowledgement letter with anyone they'd like. So the 22 categories that the HOA Center itemizes complaints into, there are some which come up more often than others. So communication between the board or CAM and homeowners is by far the most complained about issue. Keep in mind that during a dispute with your association, face-to-face or telephone communication may be difficult. When emotions are high, The best method of communication is via written letter sent by certified mail. This will allow for more effective communication and will provide a record of delivery. The next most frequently complained about issue is the failure of an association to timely perform maintenance to the satisfaction of the complainant. Unfortunately, Kiowa is very limited to its direction to HOAs with regard to performing maintenance. So how and when maintenance is performed in an HOA is a purview of the executive board. Lastly, many complaints are received by the HOA Center regarding not following the association's governing documents. There's a great resource on the HOA Center's webpage with frequently asked questions. For more information about what you can do when your association is not following your governing documents, please see the frequently asked question, what is the best way to go about addressing a clear violation of the Colorado Common Interest Ownership Act or my governing documents by my board?